Okay, so this is a review of Aristotle, an outline sort of, or classical reasoning. Um, so the first idea is a notion of reason, that we have a faculty like seeing or hearing that we say, oh, I see what you're talking about, or oh, that's very clear, or gee, that's a little bit foggy, or something. Has to do with seeing the ideas and the connections of ideas, and is obviously, should be kind of clearly related to knowledge, closely related to knowledge and how it is that we know anything at all. So that's why it's a principal study. Now, then, first we want to talk about what a term is, and a term, the difference between a term and a word. When we say term, we mean an idea that a person has in mind. Like I could say bird, and that's one word that we use, but that word is being used to represent an idea that I have in mind. To illustrate that, to illustrate the difference between a term and a word, I could write, instead of bird, I could write an animal with feathers. And even though this is more than one word, these words are being used to represent one term. Again, to illustrate the difference between words and terms, take a word like, or a term, or the difference between a word and a term. Could take a word like real. Okay, now this is real with one spelling. This is real with another spelling. These mean, the different spellings signify that these words mean different terms. But even if the spelling is the same, real could mean real, real neat, or something. People might say that, real neat, or something. I mean, very, sort of like very, that's another way to say that. It's a different term than, say, is that, for real or whatever. That's, in fact, that means very, but this means, sort of as a fact, or in truth, or something. So these are different uses of the same word, and depending on how they're used, this is one term and this is another term, because the idea that's used by the mind is different. So it's the idea that's in the mind, the singular idea in the mind of the person trying to communicate. That's what refers to, that's what the term, the notion of term, that's what it is.